Hi, my name is James and I used to pronounce he, him.
My name's Jodie Najudan. I'm an Aboriginal trans woman and my peoples are the Gunakurnai people over in Gippsland.
I serve on the multicultural as well as the LGBTIQA+ advisory committees in my local council. Certainly I feel that the time that I feel most connected to any community is when I feel that I share similar backgrounds with the people that I'm interacting with. People from similar backgrounds, for example, people of colour, people from migrant backgrounds.
The one time I was the most connected to community, I was actually rock climbing with this group and everyone was trans and gender diverse, queer. It was fantastic. The time we spent together was just all about the climbing. It was just all about, you know, our passion for being in the outdoors, and it was just great getting to know everybody and do something we all love doing. That was easily the time I was the most connected to community.
So I think it is important when it comes to relating to people and getting that kind of empathy and understanding. It is so important for me to really speak to people who have been through similar challenges and overcome similar challenges in building that kind of resilience. I find that people who share similar backgrounds with me, either from who have gone through similar lived experiences or who come from similar cultural backgrounds, would have a better understanding of some of the more pertinent and more personal struggles that I might be facing.
If I was going to talk about peer support, I talk about that time in my life at least. I feel like most people's lives, when peer support would probably help the most, and it did for me. That was pretty early on in my gender sort of discovery. I needed people to relate to, I needed people to model, I needed people to be vulnerable in front of, and that type of peer support would have been the most valuable thing to me at that point in my life.
I have lived experience as a former international student and I'm a migrant myself to Australia, and so I remember in those early days when I've been to a new city, when I experienced a bit of a culture shock, attending a peer support service, either it could be like a telephone line or even attending a peer education workshops or even like a peer support kind of a social group, was particularly crucial in helping me to be emotionally anchored, because I was meeting people like myself. I could be allowed to be vulnerable, to be honest, to be true, to be authentic, and I didn't feel that I was being judged. That was particularly helpful in helping me to overcome the initial stages of moving to a new place.
As someone who's Black and trans, I feel like a sense of peer support, you know, living a life like this, it's so valuable. So many spaces aren't culturally safe and so many other spaces aren't savvy to speak to the LGBT community, and it really limits the number of places that you can really be yourself in front of. And unfortunately, it's like that for a lot of people who live in those intersectionalities. And I guess that really just speaks to how valuable it is to find that type of peer support.
There is immense satisfaction and joy in really helping peers to really live the best life possible. And because if I find myself having gone through really tough experiences, and if I find myself having been able to overcome some of these struggles that I have gone through in life, to be able to offer that perspective and that hindsight, that retrospective experience to people who are going through similar experiences right now at this moment. I have always believed in turning my negative experiences into a positive, and I've always loved the idea of, you know, to leave behind some kind of a positive legacy and leaving behind some kind of positive imprint in other people's lives and helping them to see the positive change that they can make for themselves. In a way, it's a bit like paying it forward. So I've always believed in that.
When I started my gender discovery, I was really lucky to start it on the same day as someone else. Our journey has been separate in a number of different ways, but the most valuable thing has been able to check in on them, revisit them, lean on them if I'm struggling with something or have some questions, And then I find myself giving them some feedback, helping them look things up, and it's so worthwhile reaching out to someone who's going through the same thing as you. At least it was for me.